Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you episode 2 of what's going to be a good one in Let's Try Forged of Blood. What I mean by being a good one is this game was thoroughly impressive in the first episode. I have high hopes for it. So let's go ahead and load YouTube 1 here. It's pretty late at night, but we're going to have a late night and chill episode. So here we are, this gorgeous, different regions, huge world map. And the strategic map, the strategy layer. It is utterly fascinating, and we're going to check it all out today. So it's day 1, week 1, year 1 of the War of Claims. So that ambush taking out the king, was literally the first day of the war. 125 days to Rebel Vanguard arrival. So we probably do have a bit of a time limit. Strategic overview. The march to Genevan. A human-led rebellion has laid waste to the capital and murdered your father, King Aurelian Caanican of Atiras. Now on the run, you, your brother, and your trusted mentor must wake your way to the ancient seat of your ancestors for safety. The first step, find your bearings and take the first steps towards your destiny. A cache in the woods, Volcariot. This is one of the many Red Guard supply caches hidden around the continent. We will need to help ourselves to the supplies and the armory if we are to make the long march to Genevan Castle. Time to quest location, 4 days. So we can go right there. Let's see, there's also territory and encounters. Over here we have the legend. 4 days to reach. That looks like a rebel quest. No, not a rebel quest. I don't know what that would be. A loyalist quest? My eyes are a little buggy right now. But there's Bracati Fishers, invasion threats, claiming quests, regional quests, generic quests, claimant quests, rebel quests, and loyalist quests. There's quests everywhere, guys. Quest galore. Alright, then we've got the strategic log. Nothing's happening there. Our refugees, we'll check everybody out in a minute. So you've got party management. We can't use these buttons yet. Recruitment, command overview, market, castle inventory, spell crafting, personality map, caravan management, general ability tree, weapon ability tree, and character sheet. So if we click someone, we get their character sheet. This is Prince Tavius Caanican or Caanican. Yeah, that should just be Caanican or Caanican. Units, regions, we can garrison. Our character stats: 7 strength, 8 dex, 7 endurance and agility, 7 initiative, 6 mobility, 240 max health. Regeneration increases the amount of health restored at the start of each turn. We get 50 from superior, mithril, medium armor. Oh my gosh, my eyes are so bad right now. Medium armor of minor vigor. Our dodge is 51, getting that from the Supreme. That's smaller than usual, but Supreme Steel Shield of Arcana. Armor class is 9. From the medium armor, the shield, and shield proficiency level 1. Reflex is 40. Do 99 to 399 damage. Our spells, we have spell power modifier from superior. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I cannot read right now. From superior steel shield of Arcana, we get a 15 to spell power modifier. Let's see what else we can see. There's no available points to spend. We're using the superior steel shield of Arcana. Gives bonus stats, both offense and defense. We'll look at these more when we have a chance to replace them. I hope we can get better gear, soon. Although the stuff is not bad. Dreamstone Longsword, that looks pretty good. Critical damage is 2.5% or 250%, 2.5 times. 5% crit chance. Dampen plus 10. I'm not sure how to make that stay there. I can't look at that. Losing a point of mobility for medium armor, but gaining so much more. Alright, so party inventory. Just looking over the various screens and stuff, let's look at our other characters. We've got Prince Levon Kanakan. He has a superior rosewood short bow of penetration, 12% crit chance. Very cool. His stats are much the same, basically 8 strength, 7 dex, endurance, agility, 6.75 initiative, 6 mobility versus 7 and 6. 240 HP, not much damage. Also with some magic control. And we're going to look at spellcrafting this episode as well, probably. Party inventory is literally nothing. High Commander Quintus Grippa. He's got a steel longsword, steel shield, very basic, steel medium armor, 320 hit points, decent damage. His stats are pretty cool, 6 strength, but 11 dex and endurance, and 8 agility. Nice initiative, fastest in the party so far. Max health, 55 reflex, and Arcus Harless has a steel dagger, steel shield, and steel medium armor. Does not do much damage. Armor class 6, all 6s in stats and attributes. Main 6% crit chance, only 50% critical damage. And he's a fallen. Fallens receive -10 penalty to their Magirite control. The Fallen are Neshalan, whose Volgisi bloodline has become diluted by human lineage, level 1. This one's a human, a very talented human with superior attributes compared to other humans, level 1. Juvarian, the princes, naturally attuned to the use of Magirite, adding +10 to their Magirite control. And I am the same, or the princes are the same. Let's see what else we can get into here. That's the character sheet, weapon ability tree. Oh my gosh. No available points. I don't want to auto level. Why does it say auto level? Focuses on defensive abilities. Okay, I guess we have to click that. There are all sorts of weapons: dagger, short sword, warhammer, longsword, short bow, battle axe, longbow, great axe, maul, and Magirite. And we can get different abilities for each weapon that we choose to specialize in. So, Prince Tavius has a longsword proficiency, increases critical hit damage by 10%. Prince Levian has a short bow proficiency, damage +10. The High Commander Quintus Grippus has a longsword proficiency. And Arcus has a dagger proficiency, increases critical hit chance by 1%, requires 1 point to upgrade. We can upgrade each one too. Very nice. So that's the weapon ability tree. Let's look at the general ability tree. Wow, a bunch of them. Very cool. Attack of opportunity, combat stance, improved initiative, hardiness, shield, and mobility. And Arcus has martial arts training, increases dodge by 5. The High Commander has shield proficiency, increases armor class while using a shield +1, and it's maxed out. Basic conditioning for Laven. Increased mobility +3, and Tavius has shield proficiency as well. So that's very cool. It's going to be very satisfying leveling up all our units, I know that. Let's look at spellcrafting. Welcome to the spellcrafting window and your first steps towards wielding the power Magorite. Magorite, the source of all magic in Atiras, is biologically formed stone that is harvested from the fearsome Bracati beasts that appear seemingly out of nowhere. Magorite control is the primary stat that goes into controlling and wielding the power contained in these stones. Every character will have a specific drain and expel Magorite control stat that will determine the complexity of spells that the character can cast. Note that certain bloodlines in Atiras have a natural affinity to these stones and have the potential to become powerful mages. Harvested Magorite comes attuned to one of 3 primordial types of energy, thermal, spirit, and arcane, and come in tiers from 1 to 3. The higher the tier, the more spells can be written into the stone. To craft your own spells, you must first select a character who has an attuned Magorite equipped. If the character has 2 stones equipped, select the primary or secondary slot to continue. Each stone, depending on tier, will have a specific number of drain and expel spell slots that can be written in. Left-click on a slot to proceed. With a spell slot selected, you can now select an effect slot to alter. Left-clicking on an effect slot will give you the option to add or replace the effect with one of 8 base effects. Every spell can have up to 5, and their base, attract, nebulous, sight, xeno, sporadic, entropy, and reality. Wow. Once an effect is in place and selected, the effect modifiers section will be active and you can begin to shape your spell by adding and removing effects that will be specific to the single effect. You can do this for all 5 effects within the spell individually. That is nuts. Very innovative. The penultimate panel in the window houses the global modifiers that will allow you to shape the spell as a whole. Note that these global modifiers will affect all 5 effects present in the spell. Very cool. As you craft your spells, you will find that certain modifiers stack as you add and remove points, while others are toggles that turn on and off with a single point. Every effect, every modifier or effect modifier, and global modifier you add into your spell will increase the Magorite control cost of the spell. Be mindful of this stat or you risk going into battle with an unusable spell. Once you've crafted your spell to your satisfaction, the final panel to the right will provide you a numerical summary of your spell. You will now have the opportunity to name and describe your spell for future use. Cool. If you are eager to jump into the action, the spellbook on the top of the window will hold a collection of pre-written spells for each primordial. Spells that are created through the spellbook will automatically scale the wielder's Magorite control stat, but altering the spells in any way will prevent it from scaling in the future. Note that spells are written into the stone and not the wielder, so be mindful of the Magorite control costs of each spell as you trade Magorite from one character to another. Our Magorite system is a large and complex system that may confound and delight you at the same time. Exploration and experimentation will be key to unlocking the true potential that lies at your fingertips. Wow. This is wild. The big effects, the effect modifiers, the global modifiers. Okay, clear all spell effects. So we have, and we're the Kanakin refugees. We have the ability to use magic, but we don't have any stones to write into, so we can't use this right now. But that is everything that we can access right now. So we'll get out of spellcrafting. And is there any reason to come over this way? Partharos, Amaras, Tionis, or Alcar Leonis. We'll carry on. Okay, so the next step would be just getting into a battle. A cache in the woods. This is one of the many Redgar supply caches hidden around the continent. We'll need to help ourselves to the supplies in the armory if we are to make the long march to the Genevon castle. Okay, I clicked it and we're going. Taking quest to cache in the woods. Days are passing. Hours, and we are there. Excellent, the cache looks intact. This should be more than enough to see us to Genevan. Help yourselves to a weapon of your choosing, assuming you both still remember what I taught you. Quest completion. Quest outcome. Okay, we can pick from one of these weapons, a flawed spirit magorite. We don't click it here though. Okay, continue. Tutorial. As you fight your way through Atiris, your characters are yours to build as you please. In the center console of your screen is the strategic control panel. From here you'll have access to everything you need to build and equip your characters for war. Press C to open the character sheet window and select the character you'd like to alter from the left-hand character panel. You can control the simulation speed of the world here, including pause. With a character selected, you may expend any unsigned attribute points to the character and view their current character statistics on the left panel. Now that you've collected a cache of weapons and armor, you can drag and drop or double-click your desired equipment into a character's weapon or armor slot. Note that you must have a primary weapon set equipped before you can equip a secondary weapon. Once you've equipped your characters with primary and secondary weapons, move on to the next quest marker. When you are ready, we should move. The rebels cannot be far behind if they follow the tunnels. I've personally trained some of the Red Guards stationed in Savinge, or in Savinge. Their loyalty is without question, and they are some of the finest swordsmen I've ever trained. Then we make for the outpost and gather an army. Lead on, brother. There's the next quest, The Color of Blood. Takes 15 days in Savinge. And this quest is complete. So let's look at the character sheet. Okay, so let's look at everything we picked up. Leather light armor. An armor that has the lowest armor class but has no penalties. Steel medium armor. An armor with a balanced armor class and penalties. Steel heavy armor. The highest armor class but has many penalties. Flawed spirit magorite. Spell charge 0, worth 500 I guess, or 50 if we sell it. Magorite control bonus 10, maximum number of spells 2. A steel maul, a reach weapon that deals high damage. Steel great axe, a reach weapon that deals high damage. Rosewood longbow, a long range weapon. Steel battle axe, a standard weapon. Rosewood shortbow, a medium range weapon compared to the longbow. Steel longsword, standard weapon. Steel warhammer, a close quarters weapon that can be dual wielded. Steel short sword, a close quarters weapon that can be dual wielded, and a steel dagger can also be dual wielded. So let's start with Prince Tavius. He's already got a Dreamstone longsword, but for secondary, I think we go ahead. Well, let's look at Levon. He's got a bow and a Satara's hide light armor. Lowest armor class but no penalties. Medium range weapon. What if I gave him a long range weapon? Does he have longbow? No, he's in short bow, which is different from longbow. Which doesn't mean anything. We could, train him up in longbow if we wanted to. And he has much better armor on. Tavius has superior mithril medium armor of minor vigor, balanced armor class and penalties, giving crazy stats, plus that 50 regen, a Dreamstone longsword, which is very nice, and a superior steel shield of Arcana, gives bonus stats both offense and defense, very nice, 1 armor class, 2 accuracy, 20 dodge, 15 spell power modifier. So the fact that gives spell power modifier may mean I want to give him the spirit magorite, but Prince Levon has slightly higher drain and expel, and he's going to be standing back more often casting, whereas Tavius is going to be in the action, so let's give him the flawed spirit magorite, and we'll go to spellcrafting in a minute. Now let's look at these guys. High Commander Quintus Grippa, he's just got steel medium armor, steel longsword, and steel shield, and he's got a longsword proficiency. I think he has this, use points 1. And Arcus has a dagger proficiency. Let's have Arcus dual wield instead of using a steel shield, I think. Only 220 hit points though. But it would be cool to dual wield. See what it would look like. Bong bong. Oh, 24 to 54. It went down actually. Let's see if we can figure out why. Accuracy went down 1. Range 2 to 10. You can throw them, I guess. Damage 24 to 54. Oh, maybe that's with 2 attacks though. So 48 to 108. No, that's still not right. I'm not sure how that's being calculated. Dual wielding. If we look at weapon talent, there is no dual wielding. Tempest training, hit point damage, accuracy. 1 second, guys. I'm going to stretch out a little bit here. That's weird. That's very weird. What if we give him like a steel warhammer? Oh, you have to dual wield the same type. No, wait. That's... Oh yeah, it says can be dual wielded. Close quarters weapon. So can the short sword. Long swords cannot. I'm not sure what's happening here. Secondary? No, that's not dual wielding. Something seems a bit off there, so I'm not sure. Let's leave it on and see what happens. Do a little experimentation. Medium armor. I'd like to put him in heavy armor because he has such low hit points. Let's do the heavy armor. 9 armor class. He's currently got a 3. Accuracy goes down 16. And his accuracy right now is already at 0, no bonus. Minus 50 from dual wielding. Accuracy. Number of attacks 2, plus 1 from dual wielding. There we go. Range, max range is plus 10 from the steel dagger. Wait, why is he getting plus 2 from Dreamstone Longsword? He's not using the Dreamstone Longsword. That's weird. Minus 50 damage from dual wielding. But minimum damage goes to plus 50. Oh, max plus 80. Strength to damage plus 1 from dual wielding. Okay, so we've kind of sussed that out. We'll go for it. I think. For the fact we can throw 1. 2 number of attacks. It still doesn't do as much damage as 1 dagger by itself, though. So what are we actually gaining here? The range is still 2 to 10 for some reason. We just gain a second attack. It's a second chance to critical. And also a second chance to miss. And back to the heavy armor. Accuracy. Minus 16. Mobility minus 2. Dex minus 1. Mobility is a 3. Losing 2 from the steel dagger. I'm having the second one equipped, I guess. No. Losing 2 from the steel dagger. And dexterity increases initiative, accuracy, and reflex save. Steel shield, 1 armor, 2 accuracy. Gives 6 armor. Accuracy goes to 3 plus 3. And then maybe give him the heavy armor. Oh, it changed the sprite. Mobility is 3. Accuracy's back down to 0. Dexterity goes down to 5. And if I were to dual wield, initiative goes down 1 from dual wielding. Armor class goes down 2 from dual wielding. Wow, I'm not seeing how dual wielding is really benefiting us right now. But we'll try it. Heavy armor, dual wielding, it's different. I mean, it's not probably all that great. And I don't min-max in these games, guys. If you know about me, I don't. I like to do just kind of weird, quirky combinations. So bear with me there. Steel great axe, he's using a long sword. For Quintus, and steel medium armor. He's got proficiency with it. We can't see all of his stats, strangely enough. Show weapon and shield. Yeah. And he's got a steel shield. There's a steel battle axe. Doesn't do as much damage as the longsword, surprisingly. 50 to 150 versus 50 to 200. But it does 200% critical damage instead of 150. And strength to damage is 7 instead of 3. Strength to accuracy 1.5, or it's 2 instead of 1.5. And dex to accuracy 1 instead of 0.5. But if we look at his strength, it's only a 6. So strength to damage, probably not his forte. But dex and endurance. Dual-wielded steel warhammer, 80 to 150. Steel maul, 50 to 150. Still not as good as his longsword because of the proficiency, right? 250% critical damage and 10% crit chance. 4 to 5 range too, instead of 2 to 3. What if we were to give him that? Mobility goes down 2 more. Stats stay the same up there. Reflex is good. Accuracy. +2 strength to accuracy for steel from the steel maul. The range goes up +4 and 5 from the steel maul. Damage 128 to 228. 10 strength to damage from the steel maul. 10% crit chance, which is an upgrade. 250% crit damage. We could start working him in the steel maul area. But until we get a point in steel maul, no, 9 accuracy to 7. Yeah, we'll just go steel maul and steel shield. Should we have a secondary weapon? Oh, it's two-handed. I think. Yeah, that's two-handed. We can't equip a shield with it. Alright. No big loss. Secondary weapon for Arcus. Well, let's look at these guys up here. He's got a superior shortbow and the Madrite. Tavius has a Dreamstone longsword. And I guess we'll give him a shortbow as well, which has 5% more crit chance than the longbow, and 0.5 less dexterity to accuracy. The range is 2 to 20 instead of 2 to 40, but the damage is higher, 50 to 80 instead of 50 to 60, so we'll give him a shortbow, which is very well and good. Prince Levon, he's fine. And one of these guys, probably Arcus, will secondary up with a rosewood longbow. And then there's that leather armor, has no penalties, just 1 armor class though. In Quintus Grippa, we can give a secondary weapon of Now the steel great axe is 50 to 250. 10% crit chance, 12 strength to damage, 4 strength to accuracy. If we equip that bad boy, probably can't equip a shield with it. No. 19 accuracy versus 7. How is that possible? Is that bugged? That's gotta be a bug. -8 from steel medium armor. Because if we take it off, 0 accuracy, and this is just a 12, and it takes it to 19, and it's getting a -8, which should be it's turning it to a +8 or something. It's weird. 140 to 340 with a steel great axe. It doesn't have the reach of the maul. The maul does 128 to 228. This does 140 to 340, plus that 10% crit chance. Only 150% crit damage, though. We'll give him the steel great axe. He's dual wielding daggers with a rosewood longbow and heavy armor, medium armor, steel great axe, Satorus light armor, bow and magic, and medium armor, dreamstone longsword. Okay, and short bow. So that looks pretty cool. Oh, do we need a secondary weapon for Quintus Grippa? How about something with a shield? Maybe go back to steel longsword and steel shield for the secondary. Good, good, good. Let's get out of here. Let's save while we're at it. 2A. Alright, so spellcrafting. I don't think we're going to get to combat today. Aha! So we've got 2 spells that we can put in this thing. It's got Kane's Grace, heals a single character for Expel and Drain. Volemia's Penance deals random attribute damage to target. Base causes random attribute damage on affected characters. There's no other. Oh, there is. Spirit Drain, no effect. Attract increases damage reduction of affected characters. Oh man, we could really get into this. Decreases hit chance during attacks of affected characters. Nebulous causes affected characters to turn invisible until the end of their turn. Attacking may remove the effect of invisibility. Note the duration of the status effect is independent from the duration of the spell. Causes hit points damage. Randomizes the spell effect. Causes random attribute bleed on affected characters. Random attribute damage on affected characters and increases the caster's attributes equivalent to the attribute damage done. That's very cool. And base is just random attribute damage. Increases damage reduction of affected characters. That gives us defense. I like this. Decreases hit chance during attacks of affected characters. Can we add a secondary effect? What one was that? Nebulous. Let's look at the spell. Control is already 30, so we have to lower staggered. Take staggered off. We still can't get it under control. This one's already... Oh, those are global modifiers. Focused can only be taken when the spell only contains one effect. Increase spell effect power by 10. And staggered level 2, increase spell effect power by 10. And if the spell has a duration, creates a gap equal to value of the caster's phases between spell pulses. Okay? The duration is not counted down during the gap. So it's a staggered spell. There's a little gap between its pulses. Oh, if we come back here, this is kind of already laid out. It's also staggered. In Chaos, spell effect power 10 to 20. Other effects have much bigger effects. I want to drain the hit chance though, and it doesn't seem like there's any way. We're just shy of being able to do this. So how about random attribute damage? What if we get rid of base? Can we get rid of base? No effect. Base will turn to nebulous? We can, okay. So we can decrease their hit chance with the drain spell. And now what do we want to do for an effect modifier? Spell effect power. We can empower it. We can forceful it. Spell save DC plus a certain amount. Save DC decreases the chance of resisting the spell's effects, damage, and healing. Yeah, you can also resist healing, which I think is very cool. Solidify ignores targets. Dampen by 0. Dampen decreases the effect power of the spell's effects. Persistence. Spell effects duration plus a certain amount. The duration is counted by the caster's phases. Spells with duration pulls the spirit's effects at the beginning of the caster's turn. So this would be spell effect duration plus 2. So affects a single square. Luck minus 1. Spellcaster's duration plus 2. So it would go 2 more turns, decreasing the hit chance. Following, spell effect will follow allied characters up to X squares. If the character passes beyond X square, the effect will persist in the last square for the remainder of its duration. Inverse casting. Inverse the charge of the spell effect. Drain effects become X spell and X spell becomes drain. Selective casting. The spell effects will only affect hostile characters. It affects a single square, okay. Virus. Spell effects will copy themselves to adjacent squares which contain a valid spell target. The copied spell effect will last for 0 caster phases. That is very cool as well. 3 caster phases, and it's within our drain control. So not only is it going to persist 2 extra, it's also going to copy itself to adjacent squares which contain a valid enemy. Well, it says valid spell target. That could be our own characters. Doesn't say affects enemies. It says affects a target. Delay. Spell effect doesn't start for a certain amount of phases. Additive. Spell effects effect power will be added to an existing spell effect effects power if the effect of both spells is the same. Ephemeral. Spell effect penetration plus X. 1 point of penetration causes the spell's hit point damage effects to ignore 3% of the armor class of the affected character's armor class decreased hit point damage from spells and attacks. This also affects healing. So the higher your armor class, the less healing you get. Chaos increases the spell effect power. And then we can increase the spell range. We can strengthen the effect power with, if combined with length at equal values, it will form a circular area of effect. Length, focused, can only be taken when the spell only contains 1 effect. Increase spell effect power by X. Scatter. Spell effects are applied to X random squares around the affected squares. Accuracy. Spell save DC plus X. Save DC decreases the chance of resisting the spell's effect, damage, and healing. Spell duration. Staggered aura. Spell will affect squares in the radius of X around the caster. Well, that's pretty cool too. The aura area of effect is addition to the spell's targeted casting. Counter power plus X. When a spell is cast on a square already occupied by another spell, the spell being cast will supplant the existing spell in those squares if the spell counter power is higher than the spell counter power of the existing spell. Triggered spell effects are initially dormant and will be activated when X phases have passed or when a character enters the square. The duration of the spell is not counted while it's dormant. Makes sense. And then spell range. Strengthen. So let's look at the main effects again. Causes affected characters to turn invisible. Causes hit point damage. We can just do basic hit point damage. Randomizes the spell effect. Causes random attribute bleed. Random attribute damage on affected characters and increases the caster's attributes equivalent to the attribute damage done. So that not only causes the random attribute damage, but it increases the attributes of the caster. So say we were to cast this, and we say we take down their strength, we would also gain strength in return, which if we look at the stats again really quick, strength is going to increase attack, health, damage, and magorite control. So damage and attack. Dexterity is initiative, accuracy, and reflex save. Endurance is health, and agility is mobility and dodge. So no matter what we absorb from the random attribute, it's going to be beneficial. Chaos spell effect power 10 to 20. Second level. So the base power is 10 to 40. Random attribute damage 2 to 8. And it's staggered again. Spell effect power by 10. And if the spell has a duration, creates a gap equal to caster's phases between spell pulses. Not 100% on that one, but does it have a duration? Spell counter power 25, cast range 20. It does not have a duration, it's just a one turn thing, I think. So let's get rid of staggered. And decreases the chance of resisting. Empower. Here we go. Persistence. We can't get 2 levels of that unless we take down base power 5 to 20. Spell effects duration plus 4. Random attribute damage only 1 to 4, so we have to have this chaos. And for some reason, random attribute damage is now 0 to 6. Zero to 8. I don't know how we lost the 2 there. Huh. Somehow we lost the 2. 0 to 8 is not bad though. Staggered. 0 to 9. Spell duration global modifier. No. Random attribute damage 2. 1 to 4. 0 to 6. 0 to 8. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, it went back to base. For some reason, it should be reality. Now it says 0 to 3. Didn't we have it 2 to 8? Wow, something is a little off. Let's see how long I've been playing. 44 minutes. I've got to wrap it up. Guys, we can spend a lot of time with this. And I think I want to. As we get more spells and stuff, it'll be very cool, and we'll start to get the hang of it and see how we can craft these different spells and come up with some interesting things. There's a lot here to get creative with. Always fun to get creative in a dope CRPG when available. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. and are enjoying the playthrough so far, 2 episodes in. If you did, or if you are enjoying, please like, comment, subscribe before leaving. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys next time. There is a lot to go through here, and I, for one, think it is very, very cool. Like, I'm kind of shocked. It's kind of mind-blowing in a way, because I didn't expect it to be this polished and this nice, like with all these complex mechanics. I know it says in the Steam store description, like, it's based around complex mechanics, but I wasn't quite prepared for what, it did offer, and it's looking good so far. So hope you'll join me next time. Guys, if you want to help support the channel as well, you can become a member here on YouTube or patreon.com/fluent. Don't forget to check that out if you like. We'll make some spells next time. We'll get into combat. And right now we're just going to save and hope to see you guys next time. So until then, be well, live well, stay well, guys. And much love, peace, and joy. Peace out, guys. Don't go anywhere. And ciao for now.